No, button. Oh, come on. Back to there. Yeah. Okay, so we should be on episode 89. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to New Year's Eve. It is not Saturday. It is July 4. I did get all of the poplars planted. I don't know if I need to lime and fertilize the field, but it is. We'll drive over there and we'll demonstrate. But if there's nothing better to do today, I might just switch for something else. So here's our poplars. You'll see there's sort of every little block. There's a narrow gap where course play didn't fit, but it's close enough. We got pretty much most of the field done except a couple of feet on the outside. Now this said weeds are growing. Oops. And that I need herbicide. Needs rolled. But the pH and nitrogen sucks, so I'm thinking we'll just lime and spray this field and be good. Or something. And then we can move through to August and see what needs done then. Did watch a video yesterday. Farmer Cop did a review on when it's best to forage stuff. Forage corn, maize. And it seems there is a 1% boost if you do it during harvest as opposed to the month before, which you are allowed to do. But you're going to miss out on potential planting opportunities if you do that. So, yeah, it is a thing. But I think for us, we need the planting opportunities. And open the lid. Nice. Okay. Jump out, jump back, start filling. Lime. Also going to walk over here. These are. Oh, that is ready to harvest forage. Not going to worry too much about that. For now. Okay, that's set on auto application rate. We only have one tank of this, so now I don't know if harvesting poplars affects environmental score, but this field is in the 90s, so really it seems to me it's probably best to get it all done, just in case, rather than lose out on our environmental score and then everything else. It just seems that let's do this and see where we get to. Auto width. Set A0 back. That's fine. And 3, 2, 1. Go. do one lap. Not sure how much we'll use, and then if we spray it, it'll look fine anyway. But we really, there is absolutely nothing else we need to do on the farm until August, and then we're going to have grass to cut. So I might send the mower into our huge field on the north side of the farm and just get that cut and wrapped, so that's all ready to go. 1st of September we can sell that stuff, and hopefully we should still be about a month early on the sunflowers. If not, there's other things I can sell. I can always sell a good chunk of maize silage, because we really don't need that much of it. We've got another field that we'll be cutting, I think, next month as well. So that's all going to happen. I could not plant in this. You'll see there's the headlands on the outside. There's a gap between the main rows and the headlands, and I could not plant there because Courseplay was just saying it couldn't tell the difference between the headland row and where the main central rows were moving up and down. So I just couldn't position it right. I had to skip a row. And I think that's because I had an issue and I had to restart the game, and I just couldn't put it back where it needed to be. But that job did take over 7 hours. So if you want to plant a big field of what are these things? Poplars, then my suggestion is line up a whole ton of YouTube videos and just set a worker on it. And you have to set a Courseplay worker on it. I think a regular worker will skip lots of bits. Go back the way we've come. If you want to get them this densely planted, obviously if you just want regular worker rows, then yeah, go for it. It's not going to be, it's going to be about 1/3 the density that I've got these planted in. I'll just go straight through here. So, New Year's Eve. Apparently we're expecting snow from 8 o'clock in the morning. It is 8:41. I'm not seeing snow yet. But we have 0 plans to go anywhere for the next few days, so that's a good thing. I do just that side of this. Will give me a little bit of an overlap at this end, but everything else will be consecutive rows. We're not even halfway through the tank. And this is what I was saying about if you... Oh, go. You know what? Should do that from the other end. But yeah, if you lime things fairly regularly, you only need a tiny little amount of lime on the fields. Whereas if you do it every 3rd harvest, it will take you a lot of lime to bring things back up to where they need to be. You could do a tiny amount. just so it kind of gets done. You get it to sufficient levels, but not perfect levels. Our hottie. What was it? Sunday, I managed to get all of my American Truck Sim Christmas deliveries done. I discovered you could actually take things from Winter Wonderland to America and deliver them for a credit as well. So, having done 2 deliveries to the Winter Wonderland, I did 7 bi-directional trips. So, do it one end, do it the other end. So I was going both ways. It also turns out that if you do a delivery from Winter Wonderland to America, when you wormhole back to the United States, it will put you closest wormhole to the town you need to deliver to, which is a good thing. Because up until that point, when I did a delivery to Winter Wonderland, and then I just jumped into a wormhole and gated back to the US. It just put me in a random location. Obviously, predetermined locations as far as the wormholes are concerned, but random location when it came to where in America I appeared. Now, fortunately, I appeared in Washington, which wasn't a bad thing because I haven't visited Washington with this particular character yet. So I've now visited every city in Arizona, New Mexico, California. I'm now working my way through Oregon. I think I've got about 90% of those done, and it's just the ones further out that aren't done yet. And then after that, we move on to Washington. I didn't realise I'd actually bought Idaho. I don't have, and I bought Idaho and Colorado. I haven't bought anything else. Now there is a Steam sale on, and I think a lot of the 2-year-old maps are now 50%. So I've got the potential of just picking up Montana, Iowa, and some other place. Not Texas. Texas is too new. Kansas? I think Kansas is another one that's cheap. But Oklahoma and Texas are fairly new. Texas is more expensive than the rest. It's bigger. And Oklahoma's not 50% discounted because it's newer. I'm actually wondering, once we get over to the east side of the US, whether we'll get, say, New England as an expansion rather than Massachusetts, Vermont, Rhode Island, because they're all very small states. If you do New England, you'll get sort of 5-6 states in that, and it still won't be as big as somewhere like Texas. Kind of like in Europe, they're currently reworking a bunch of the really old maps. England is a little ways down the list because it's quite big, but they've reworked parts of, I think they finished reworking Germany, but they sort of did Germany in parts and France in parts. The next thing I think they're planning to do is Benelux, which is Belgium, Netherlands and Luxembourg. Belgium, Netherlands, Luxembourg, yes. So I'm just wondering whether they'll do some of the Eastern American states as a combo deal. Oh, this is... Are we going to make it? Before we run out. This is going to be very close to done. 1900. So a bit over 200, maybe. So this will take us 1400. Hey, we're going to get this done in one tank. And as I said, yeah, if I'd left it till third harvest before doing this, it would have taken a trip back to the yard to refill the tank. It should put us low 1200s. And round we go. Oh, missed a bit. I don't think I did miss a bit. Okay, hi Cavalier Roy, welcome to not quite the new year. Although I'm guessing for you, we're fairly close. Or we're much closer than I am. Yeah, you're probably in the afternoon. I am probably not, obviously not doing this map or Maypole in Farm Sim 25. Typically once I've done a map like I've done this one, it's it's like, okay, I've spent over a year and a half, 2 years in some cases on this map. I need a break from it. So yeah, my first season was back in Farm Sim 17. I did Lawfolds, lovely map, really liked the map, but I was kind of done with it at the end. And someone did produce Lawfolds for Farm Sim 19. I did take a look at it, but it was like, I'm kind of done with this now. I did like the improvements that they'd made in 19 though. The openings were wider, the gates were recessed from the lanes so you could actually make a turn in with reasonable sized equipment. But it was like, I can't face up to doing a long-term series on this. So I did Oakfield Farm for 19. And that went a bit longer than I had planned for it, because at the time we were thinking Giants do a release every 2 years. We ended up with Oakfield Farm for about 3 years. But I did decide this time out I wasn't going to do a 3-year stint on one farm. So Maypole was the first season of 22 and this has been the second season, so I'm going to skip out on doing either of those next time. But that said, doesn't mean I won't use one of your maps. I'm really looking for inspiration maps at this point. And The Riverview, yeah, we'll see. I'm also not entirely certain whether I'm going to stick with a UK map next time. I might go and do an American one if I can find something that's inspirational. If I can't find something that's inspirational, then we'll fall back on UK maps because, hey, it's what I know. It's where I lived for 35 years. It depends. Yeah, for me it depended. Since we became foster parents, it's been a lot more difficult for me to do to play games in the evening. So instead, this time of day is my time of day. Nobody else has gotten up, and liquid fertilizer, yes. And so while everybody else is sleeping in the house, I can have a couple of hours just playing Farm Sim. I just play one map, and I share it with other people in the world who want to watch, if they want to watch. I used to stream on weekdays as well. So I'd finish up with work, I'd get home, I'd have supper, and then I would stream. And those streams, I quickly learned I can't manage more than a couple of games simultaneously. So unless it's something like Truck Sim, where I can start the game up, get in the truck, pick somewhere to go, do the thing, and everything's fine and wonderful. But for Farm Sim, because there's sort of an element of planning, I can't play more than two. So originally I had, and I think people like Dagwing got to the same point. He's running three separate series simultaneously, and he gets to the point where he's not really sure where he got up to on any given game. And I found the same thing. So Saturday is the big thing, and so long as I can remember where I got up to, I'll leave myself unofficial notes by parking vehicles in the yard in front of the sleep trigger, so that when I start the game up, there's a tractor there parked up with a couple of mowers attached. It's a reminder that, oh yes, I was going to go and mow some fields today. And then during the week I would have one select farm where I would play 2 years on that farm, and then we close up the series. We'd see how well I'd done financially, and then I'd move on to a different farm. So I got to experience more maps, and that was all fine and wonderful. But for the most part, I can't play 3 or 4 games. I can't play. I like playing games like Civilization. I can't play Civilization because I can't devote 3 weeks of play to get a game start to finish. And I'll start one and then get I can't get back to it for 2 weeks, and then it's like, I don't know where I got up to. I start again, and it just gets frustrating for me. So I don't experience the number of maps that I have done on previous versions of Farming Simulator. Now, Teenage Ose is going to be 18 in March, and she's travelling after that, so she won't be at home. We will have the foster kids come visit, or the former foster kids to come visit at weekends. That's not really a big issue for us, because that's weekends. So it will give me more evenings in a week to play games that can involve a little bit of planning. So we'll see what happens next year or after March. But until then, I'm kind of, this is my release on Farming Simulator. I get to play one map, and I just get to play that one map and see how far we get. And because of that, when I'm looking, Farm Sim 25 is out, a lot of the script mods that I like to play with are now in the game. So I'm now looking for an inspirational map that I can sink my teeth into for 18 plus months. And I need a map that gives me the inspiration and gives me gives me something to do. It looks right, and that's the thing. A lot of the UK map makers make maps that feel right. The other guy that does is Black Sheep. His European maps are just next level awesome. And every time he brings out Old Stream Farm or the Old Stream Farm, I'll take a look at it, because that map was just brilliant. And it it evokes all the old world European little forgotten villages in the back end of nowhere, and it's something that American map makers is just sort of, okay, let's slap down 10 big fields, and I think the other people that do are some of the Eastern European guys. Because again, they're small old world maps. I did, I can't remember what it was called. One of the maps I played back in Farm Sim 19 was an Eastern European map, and it was late in the life cycle of Farm Sim 19. So I ended up with an old, I can't remember whether it was an Ursus or Zetor, but an old one. It's like, it had a cab, that's a luxury, and two-wheel drive, and lots of sort of very old style 3-meter seeders and cultivators and things like that. Lovely series to play, and the map I was playing on had about 150 fields, but they were like one or